You know that classic story, right? The hero makes this long, epic journey up a mountain, all to find some wise, old sage who holds all the secrets to the universe. It's a great story. But what if that story has it all wrong? Today, we're going to dig into a short, ancient text that completely flips that entire idea on its head. So, I want you to just hold on to this question as we go through this. What if the greatest teachers, the real masters, don't actually give you the answer? What if the most powerful lesson you could ever learn isn't a piece of information at all, but something totally different? This one little idea is the key that unlocks this entire story. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a seeker, someone who has poured his entire life into his spiritual quest. I mean, this guy isn't just some curious tourist, he is on a mission. He has traveled a long, long way to find this really famous master, a guy named Ponyo. You can almost feel the weight of his journey when he arrives, the sheer hope he's carrying. And here it is. This is the big moment. He's standing right in front of the master, and he asks the ultimate question. He's not asking for money or fame or power. He's asking for the actual blueprint to enlightenment itself. And notice the words he uses. How do I learn? How do I cultivate path? He's asking for the real, practical how-to guide for maybe the biggest goal a person could ever have. Now, to really get how huge this question is, you've got to understand this one word, Bodhisattva. See, this isn't just about personal self-help. A bodhisattva is someone who wants to achieve enlightenment, not for themselves, but so they can help every single living being do the exact same thing. So when our seeker asks this question, he's basically asking, how do I learn to save the world? The stakes, well, they couldn't be any higher. So just picture it. The air is practically crackling with anticipation. The seeker has invested everything into this single moment, asking this incredibly deep question of a master who's famous for his wisdom. We're all leaning in, right? We're waiting for that ancient secret, that profound piece of advice, that life-changing lecture that's surely about to come. All right, this is it. The whole journey comes down to this. What pearl of wisdom is the great Master Ponyo about to share? And that's it. That's his answer. No long speech, no secret scroll, no complicated philosophy. The master just completely deflects the question and basically sends the seeker away. He says, "Good man, there's a youth here. You should go ask him." Can you even imagine the shock? After all that travel, all that hope, the answer is just, nope, not me. Go somewhere else. And this is where it gets really interesting. Check out who the master sends him to. The youth's name,善知眾藝, literally translates to skilled in many arts. Think about that. He didn't send him to another wise old hermit on another mountain. He sent him to a young craftsman, someone whose name screams practical, hands-on, worldly skill. The lesson isn't floating up in the clouds, it's right down here in the workshop. And this is where you see the master's true genius. He was never meant to be the final answer. He was a guidepost, a sign on the road. By sending the seeker away, sure, he was testing his commitment, but more importantly, he was pointing him toward his actual next lesson. The master's job was just to point the way. The youth is the next step on that way. So you see, the master's redirection was the teaching. It reveals these three massive truths. First, the path to wisdom isn't about finding one single secret. It's a continuous, unfolding series of lessons. Second, a real teacher doesn't keep all the knowledge for themselves. They guide you to your next source. And third, wisdom is absolutely everywhere, often in the most unexpected people and places you can imagine. So the whole point is this. Ponyo gave the seeker something way more valuable than a lecture. He gave him momentum. He gave him a clear, simple, actionable next step. The most profound spiritual advice he could have given turned out to be the most practical. Your lesson isn't here, it's over there. Now go. This little story tells us something so deep about any path of growth, whether it's spiritual, professional, or personal. The goal isn't really to get to some final destination where you suddenly have all the answers. The goal is to just stay on the journey, to always be ready to look for that next lesson, wherever it is and whoever is teaching it. And so that really leaves us with a question for ourselves, doesn't it? We all have things we want to learn, things we want to get better at. But maybe the secret isn't about finding that one person with all the answers. Maybe it's just about asking, what's my very next step? And who is the unexpected teacher who can show it to me?